during our campaign, we are truly unbogable, and we are bound to succeed. Nothing can defeat us.
Unakuwa na maana gani duniani ikiwa wewe kazi yako ni wizi wa ng'ombe? Kweli una maana gani? Una maana wewe ni binadamu ya mavi ya kuku.
He was the greatest and among the wisest leader to ever live in this world. In Africa, names of great men are mentioned with respect, and one of those names is the name of the late President Mwai Kibaki of Kenya, a man who was loved and respected across Africa and the world. Kenyans loved and adored him because of his achievements in developing Kenya, and the people of the great Kenya found a great sense of humor in Kibaki's speeches.
Na lazima wewe mwenyewe useme kwa mtoto huyo, na useme kwa jia kali, panakuwa bure tu mavi ya kuku. Ati bure kabisa. Hata huwezi ukasema kwa mtoto huyu. Kwani unaogopa nini?
This is the story of the great and the legendary Mwai Kibaki, the man who shaped Kenya's future and transformed the economy of Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, a very wonderful audience, and today we'll get to talk more about the great man from Kenya, the late Mwai Kibaki. Born on 15th November 1931, Emilio Stanley Mwai Kibaki was the last born of Githinji Kibaki and Teresia Wanjiku. Kibaki started his schooling in Gatuyaini School and later continued his education in Karima Missionary School before moving to Mathari School, the now Nyeri High School. Between 1944 and 1946, he proceeded to the now Mangu High School, where he attained highest grade in his O-level examination. In his last year in high school, Kibaki considered to enlist in the army, but his ambition was thwarted when Walter Coles, the then Kenya's colonial secretary, had prohibited members of Kikuyu, Embu, and Meru communities from joining the army. Instead, Kibaki proceeded to Makerere University in Kampala, Uganda, where he studied economics, history, and political science. Kibaki graduated with a first-class honors degree in economics, and after his graduation, Kibaki remained in Uganda, working for the Shell Company of East Africa. He later earned a scholarship entitling him to undertake a postgraduate studies at any British university. He chose the London School of Economics, from which he obtained a bachelor in public finance. In 1978, he went back to Makerere University, where he taught as an assistant lecturer in economics until 1961. In 1961, Kibaki married Lucy Muthoni, whom many Kenyans referred to as Mama Lucy, after she was the first lady of Kenya. His early political career began in the early 1960s when Mwai Kibaki left academia for active politics, giving up his job and returning back to Kenya to become an executive officer in the Kenya African National Union, alias KANU, at the request of Tom Mboya. Kibaki helped to draft Kenya's independent constitution in 1963. Later, Kibaki became a member of parliament in Bahati, the now Makadara in Nairobi. From this time onward, Kibaki began to rise in government ranks. In 1963, he was appointed to become a permanent secretary for the treasury. In 1966, he was the Minister of Commerce, and in 1969, he became the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning until 1982. Before we continue, allow me to briefly digress and show you this image. This is actually the image of the first 4 presidents of Kenya. I know most Kenyans have also not seen this before, but you might wonder, did Mzee Jomo Kenyatta plan it all? Or is this picture just a coincidence that the 4 great men before you are the first 4 presidents of Kenya? And now let us continue back to the story. By 1978, following the death of the late Mzee Jomo Kenyatta and being succeeded by Daniel Arap Moi, Kibaki was elevated to become the vice president of the KANU government. Later, in 1988, Kibaki fell out of favor of President Moi and he was dropped to the Ministry of Health. Under this time, the awful and oppressing Mwai regime was unstable, ruling in dictatorship, and corruption was at its peak. During these years, Kibaki's political lifestyle was gentlemanly, and this exposed him to criticism from people such as Kenneth Matiba, who referred to him as Keguoya, meaning a coward in Kikuyu. Since this time, Kibaki hadn't resigned and seemed like a politician who did not take a stand in what he was doing. On Christmas Day 1991, only days after the repeal of the Section 2A of the then Constitution of Kenya restored multi-party system, Mwai Kibaki resigned from KANU government and founded the Democratic Party. He entered the presidential race of 1992 and became third in the election. In 1997, he tried once again and Moi won yet another time. Kibaki joined at that place once again and Raila began to accuse Moi of rigging the election. In 2002 election, at this time, Kenyans were tired of the oppressing Nyayo regime, boycotting and chanting yote yawezekana bila Moi. Kibaki's Democratic Party, affiliated with several other political parties, won with a landslide over KANU, with Kibaki getting 62% of the votes against 31% for KANU. To form the National Alliance of Rainbow Coalition (NAC), and a large opposition rallied in Uhuru Park, Raila and Kenyans declaring Kibaki tosha. On 30th December 2002, while still nursing from injuries from a motor vehicle accident in a wheelchair, Kibaki was sworn in as the third president and commander-in-chief of the Kenya Defense Forces of the Republic of Kenya in front of thousands of cheering supporters in Uhuru Park, and this marked the end of the awful and oppressing Nyayo regime and the beginning of a new and brighter future for Kenya. Kibaki's presidency began with high hopes, and his administration was widely praised for economic reforms, infrastructure developments, and commitment to improving education in Kenya. One of his most notable achievements was the introduction of free primary education in 2003, allowing millions of children to attend schools without paying school fees. During this time, Kenya's economy grew steadily after years of stagnation. Major road networks were constructed or rehabilitated. Power distribution was improved and telecommunication sector was enhanced. Kibaki did his best and introduced new anti-corruption measures, although corruption scandals like the Anglo leasing scandals greatly tarnished his image. Do remember that the Vision 2030 development plan for Kenya was drafted and planned by Mwai Kibaki. The Thika Superhighway was constructed in his regime, and the standard gauge railway plan began and was initiated as a major infrastructural development during this time, although it was completed later on. The Kenya 2010 Constitution was also drafted by Kibaki. Kibaki's second term in office began with the 2007 political and ethnic violence. The 2007 election, when Raila Odinga of the Orange Democratic Movement, ODM, claimed that the votes had been rigged. Clashes resulted in the deaths of thousands, tens of thousands being displaced, and many more losing their lives, property destroyed, economy ruined. Although this came to an end in 2008 when Kofi Annan became a mediator between Raila and Kibaki, and a power sharing agreement was reached, known as the Nusu Mkate government.
Mimi Raila Amolo Odinga naapa kwamba nitakuwa mwaminifu kwa rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya.
Now let me show you some hilarious moments from Mwai Kibaki. These were times when Kibaki made the nation of Kenya to be in laughter because of his funny speeches, and because whenever anyone annoyed him, Kibaki never kept it in his heart. Instead, he shared it to the entire nation in the media.
We wacha hii kitu imeanguka hapo, si ngoja ilale.
Wewe wacha kelele. Na watu wanasikia mimi sisemi juu ya hii kitu, wanauliza wewe utasema nini juu ya mambo haya, na namuuliza, je, itakufaidi nini?
Tafadhali, niko saidi mbaya kabisa.
Sio kuona serikali waangalie, kuuliza serikali, nataka unisaidie hii na nataka unisaidie hiyo na hiyo ingine na
Mwai Kibaki retired from politics in 2013 after completing his second term. Kibaki had 4 children who were Jimmy, Judy, David, and Tony Kibaki. Mwai Emilio Kibaki passed away on 21st April 2022 at the age of 90. His death was met with widespread mourning in Kenya and tributes across the political spectrum. On this day, Kenya lost a very great man, a man who till date is loved and missed in Kenya for his remarkable achievements and his will to see Kenya in a better place and to develop his nation. And even the courageous and the great Gen Z from Kenya are beneficiary of Mwai Kibaki's development plans and education improvements in Kenya. That has been the story of the great and the legendary Mwai Emilio Kibaki of Kenya. Please do remember to subscribe, share, and like my videos. My name is Des Maren. See you on another episode.